NYCFC player Andres Jasson joins the show.
Hey guys.
So after the game, you're there. It was your perfect moment. You try to pull the jersey, or it looked like you try to get the jersey from Messi.
Everyone was kind of fighting. He was like arguing, I think mainly with Santi, but like with a few of the guys on our team. So he was like talking trash to me. And I'd be like, no, it wasn't me. I was like, no, it wasn't me. I got like a bunch of texts after the game, like, oh, like Messi and you were like after the game. And so it was worth it, him yelling at me to get it on video.
Welcome to another episode of the City Boys Show. I'm Javier. This is Danny.
What is up?
Another special guest for us today.
We're working too hard this offseason, man.
Way too hard.
We should be chilling. We should be watching the MLS Cup, pretending we didn't know what soccer was for 6 months. And here we're working again.
We're working again. Today we have a special person. He is way more athletic than us.
Much more.
He's smarter than us. Went to an Ivy League school.
For like 5 days, so I chill.
And according to Kevin O'Toole, he has the best facial hair on the team.
All right.
NYCFC player Andres Jasson joins the show. What is going on? How are you doing?
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me. And I didn't know Kevin was complimenting me like that. I'll have to.
Oh man, so he didn't warn you about us before you came on?
No, he didn't tell me anything about this. I'm a little nervous now. What else was he saying about
this is gonna be a disaster. Just wait for it. How's the off season? Any cool vacation plans happened already?
Not yet. It's been good. So right now I'm at school. So my semester's almost done, like a week left, and then I'm going to Spain to visit family, and I'll spend like 5 or 6 days in Germany, visiting some of my boys who are playing there. So I'm really excited for that.
Nice. Are you still going to Yale?
Yeah.
Oh,
we're talking about we're busy. This guy's going. He's got practice. Then he's got to go to school after.
My man's a new James Franco over here, just out here doing everything.
It's been a grind.
I could imagine. So let's talk about last season. It was kind of a breakout season for you. You finally scored a goal. You've been with this team. You really solidified yourself with this team. What is like the biggest moment or the biggest takeaway you take away from last season?
Yeah, I think there were a few. I mean, I think it's kind of a lot of players go through, ups and downs. And I certainly went through those. And I think it was at times like tough to keep pushing and really believe that the breakthrough was coming. But I had some really good talks with the coaches and I felt like really confident. And I would say the Cincinnati game when I subbed on away was kind of like a really big changing point for me. I felt like really comfortable and I thought I played really well. And I think that was kind of like the start of me really solidifying my spot and feeling really comfortable within the team.
I know that we were in one of the press conferences and Cushing said that you guys were kind of banging heads. You're like, I'm playing well. I should keep starting.
We actually have a reenactment of probably what happened. You went into his office, bam. And Cushing was like, oh, damn, this guy's serious. So what has that relationship with Cushing? Because I think he admits, it's constructive, like the criticism or like your relationship with him. But I kind of like you kind of cement yourself in that lineup. How has that relationship evolved with Nick Cushing?
Yeah, I think it's because there's such a high amount of trust and respect between the two of us. I think we've always been super honest with one another and not afraid to say something that might, if he says, I don't think you're playing well enough, that's from his perspective, that's the reality. So if I disagree, then that's great. I can go home and disagree, but the reality through his eyes is, the most important thing. And I think we have a relationship where we feel we can both be honest with each other. And I think we both were. And I think that sort of put all the cards on the table and helped me know where I was and what I needed to do to get the minutes that I wanted. And I think those conversations really helped.
You got your first goal in Philadelphia. How did that feel? How good did it feel for you?
Yeah, it felt amazing, especially because I had a few chances to score in games before that, and it almost felt like the ball didn't want to go in. And I think once it finally went in, sort of like the floodgates opened a little bit for me.
I know, and it was one that you had to like not celebrate, which kind of sucked because your team was down.
Yeah.
So that was a little disappointing.
Yeah, it didn't feel as great.
Sorry, go.
No, I just didn't feel as great because we weren't able to tie or get a win, but still a good moment.
Yeah. How annoying was it that Justin Hack was the first to score for the homegrown?
Well, we joked about this. I think Justin was the one to break the curse maybe for the homegrowns, and after he scored, then he made it easier for me to score because I had a couple chances to be the first and didn't take them. So I said, I'll let him take it first. I said, all right, you can score, and then I'll score after you.
I think we looked at the FanDuel stats for that probability. It was like plus 20 bajillion. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But he made it happen. I noticed in that picture, we asked Kevin this, you had the bleached hair. We asked Kevin about it. He said you guys actually influenced Gio to go and do it, but I think
it was Joe Scally, right? Was it Joe Scally?
Was it Joe or Gio?
Yeah, so I had always talked about doing it with Joe Scally as like a bit of a joke. And then the barber who cuts our hair in New York through Sean Johnson sort of became like the national team barber. Yeah. And so when he went to camp with the national team where Gio and Joe were, we had all talked about like dyeing our hair. And we agreed like, you know what, like let's do it. And so then they dyed their hair there and we dyed it at the shop. So like different barbers, but the same barber shop, if you will.
Gotcha.
And all did it within like 2 days of each other. I went with Kevin. Gio and Joe did it at camp. And then we all came dyed hair. That was the look.
Is there someone in the org that keeps influencing that, man? Every year there's like new dudes with bleached hair. Just don't know if that's just like a point of what do you call it when you recruit someone in the thing?
Oh, like I know what you're saying. Like initiation.
Yeah,
to join the
initiation
team.
of bleach your hair.
I think it's just like a little bit of it comes to summertime, vibes are high, people are really bored, and you're like, what can I do? Like, should I get a tattoo? You're like, that might last too long. Like, you know?
Jason's gonna do the blue hair next season. It's gonna get crazy.
I mean, it's better than going with the wing tattoo and you got that permanently on the back. So.
Hey, Tati had that.
I mean, some people could pull it off, some people can't. No offense, Jason. I don't think he's pulling off the wing tattoo there.
So I know your dad's Argentinian, and in the past, you said Messi was one of your favorite players. I guess how special was it to see Argentina win the World Cup?
Yeah, it was amazing. I think it was it felt like the whole world almost wanted Argentina to win. And so I was able to watch the games with friends and stuff and feel other people who weren't necessarily from Argentina support also. And, you know, you always kind of had a hope and a dream. And the first few games were definitely nervous after they lost to Saudi Arabia. But I think once Brazil lost to Croatia was when you sat up and you're like, okay, this could really happen. You know? And yeah, it was an awesome experience.
And so talking about Messi, how was it playing with Messi on the same pitch?
Yeah, it was crazy for sure. Definitely the craziest player by a lot. I mean, there's been some great players in MLS that we've gotten to play against, but this was the first time that I was really starstruck. Just kind of during warm up, just watching him and being next to him was kind of crazy. And you know, a lot of times when you watch him play against teams, you kind of think like how could you possibly leave Messi so alone? And like, how does he just dribble past? And then you play against them, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. That makes sense.
So we got to bring up this moment. So after the game, you're there. It was your perfect moment. You try to pull the jersey, or it looked like you try to get the jersey from Messi. What exactly went down there?
No, so we were like, everyone was kind of fighting. And he was like arguing, I think mainly with Santi, but like with a few of the guys on our team. And then he said something to me because I think he thought maybe I was someone else. So he was like talking trash to me. And I'd be like, no, it wasn't me. I was like, no, it wasn't me. And then he was like so mad that he was like, no, like, I don't care. Like, and then he just walked away. And then I got like a bunch of texts after the game, like, oh, like Messi and you were like after the game. And so it was worth it, him yelling at me to get it on video.
Wait, so I heard Who was it that asked for the jersey?
Julian Fernandez.
Oh yeah,
asked
Julian
for.
Fernandez. So did he end up getting did anybody end up getting the jersey?
So I don't think anyone ended up getting his jersey. I think he was just a little upset after the game. They lost. So he wasn't too happy, but I actually ended up getting Jordi Alba's.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was cool.
You gotta have a word with Santi. He ruined that moment for you, man.
He really did.
I mean,
You gotta-
the most important thing was we won the game. We got to play against Messi, and then hopefully we'll get another chance next year, and we can maybe be a little nicer to him.
And now he can take that video highlight, put it on a little Google frame, and just play. It's like, remember that time he yelled at me?
Anytime my kids call me a loser, I'll just pull up the video. And
Who's the loser now? All right.
When have you ever been yelled at by Messi?
Yeah.
So when Messi comes to New York, it's going to be like a fiasco. And just thinking about like our future stadium, is there something that you want to see in our stadium when it's finally built that like as a player you'd be like, oh, this would be awesome to have in our new stadium?
Ooh, interesting. I think the thing that I see or stands out the most in certain stadiums is kind of like a tradition before the game with the fans that they're able to do. They put it kind of into the stadium, like Portland kind of with the cutting of the wood, or Columbus, I think is so cool when they all sing like Can't Help Falling in Love with Crew. So maybe like something like that where the stadium can sing or find some sort of song before the game, I think would be cool. But I think they'll do a great job, and I definitely don't think they want my input. So
does actually talking about that with the supporters, when you hear like the drums and the trumpet and the crowd, like is when they're like at their loudest and they're out there playing the drums the loudest, does that actually like motivate you? Or are you like, all right, I'm gonna move just a little bit faster than I usually do because I'm getting hyped? Or is it like you kind of stay level throughout the game so you don't get too excited so you don't lose all your energy? Like, how does that work?
I think when you're kind of in the run of play, like you sort of try and tune it out, or sort of tunes out on its own. But something that I've definitely noticed when it really does make an impact is sort of when you're pressing, or like you tackle someone and you win the ball, or like you block across and like the fans get louder. It gives you like so much more energy when you're defending, because you can feel like the appreciation for the work that you're putting in defensively. And then, of course, when we create chances and, either score or, have a shot, and now we have a corner and the fans get loud, it kind of gives everyone an extra couple bits of energy. So you definitely feel it in certain moments. And in those moments, I think can be the difference between a tie and a win, or a loss and a tie.
Is there a team that you go against? I know we all like, oh, the Derby, it's a big one. Like we hate those guys. Is there a team that you go against where some of the players you're like, I just don't like those guys? Do you have one of those teams where you're like, every time I play these guys, I really want to stick it to them?
Yeah, I definitely don't like Red Bull. We've had a good amount of fights, and I've gotten hit a couple times against them. So they're definitely up there for teams I don't like playing. Philly is also up there. And by don't like, obviously I like playing them and never want to lose.
Yeah.
Philly and Red Bull, especially in recent years, have been the two sort of biggest rivals in the East for us.
We've actually been saying like Philadelphia sometimes feels like even a bigger rivalry right now, because we've had kind of success against Red Bull, but Philly, it's just like a back and forth with them.
Yeah, I think especially recently, the last two before this year, Eastern Conference Finals were us and Philly, and Red Bull was nowhere to be seen, so couldn't play that.
You hear that, Red Bull? Where you guys at? Where are you guys at?
Talking about, is there a fan base that also annoys you? Because Philly fans just really irk us.
Yeah, Philly, I think, is by far the most. I don't know if the word is disrespectful, but I think like when we played them in the Eastern Conference Final away, and like my mom was like super not disappointed, but she was saying like, yeah, like the fans were so rude, like I couldn't believe it. And like a little bit I was like, Mom, like you got to understand, like it's sports, like of course they're gonna yell that way. And then she would say when we played away at New England or other places, like the fans were super respectful. So I think Philly are definitely, I think they're known for that. Like that's kind of Philly's thing as sports fans. And I mean, they do a good job supporting their team, so you can't hate on them for it.
Yeah. Nobody messes with Momma Jasson.
Yeah, we gotta protect Andre's mom at all costs. Also, they got that nonsense dupe thing going on there. Like, it's just so corny.
It's horrible.
Yeah, you can't be talking trash when your goal celebration is dupe.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Talking about, well, you were like, we would say like the master of selling calls. We like to call you like Jason is the best at drawing fouls. Changed my mind. How have you gotten so good at that? And yeah, just kind of talk about that.
I think it started from when I was younger, playing up like 2-3 years. And when you're playing up that many years, like the guys you're playing against are usually faster and bigger than you. And I kind of just learned whenever I would take a bad touch or found myself in a position where maybe I should have passed the ball or found myself in a sticky situation, like getting really good at kind of putting my body in between the defender and the ball and drawing fouls. And it kind of just progressed from there. I think the MLS and specifically defenders are really eager usually to win the ball. And I can sort of do a good job of reading when I know they're going to come in and just kind of put my body in between. So I would say it definitely started from playing up a few years and sort of coping with the physicality.
I noticed that this year the refs, I don't know, had you on the hit list, and sometimes you should have gotten the call and they didn't give it to you. Did that end up making you change your game plan where you're like, all right, I'm going to stop doing less of this and then maybe try to get more physical, or am I just a crazy fan who saw something very differently?
No, definitely. I mean, we have generally similar referees around all the games, so we know them, they know us pretty well. And I still think they did a good job of calling fouls on me. I think maybe some of the lighter fouls they let play. And I think that could possibly be due to reputation. But I think this year I tried to put a little more emphasis on if I'm going to take fouls, like I might give some too. So trying to be a little more aggressive in my press and aggressive when I'm going into tackles. So that'll definitely be something that I'll try and continue into next year.
When you think about last year, what is like, I guess, the biggest takeaway you can get for next season? Because I think a lot of fans were concerned, like, hey, like, why didn't this team perform as strong as they did years prior? So what is the biggest takeaway you can take that you think, oh, this will lead to success next year?
I mean, yeah, I think when you look at last year, I don't think necessarily the results are indicative of the level of team that we were. I think we lost a lot of games that we dominated. And we talked about it throughout the season. You know, we'd rather be where we are in the table than be the same place in the table and be a bad team, because we know we aren't a bad team. And for whatever reason, it didn't go our way in a lot of games. And I think we brought in some new players and are now a lot more comfortable. And I think next year, I think is going to be a really good year for us because we played well this year. We created a lot, didn't concede a lot in parts of the season. And I think just, could call it unlucky, call it, just soccer the way it is. But I think next year, with the foundation that we were able to build this year, what we went through, how we were able to stick together through it, I think we're all really excited to get started.
When you look at you're only 21, I believe, if my Wikipedia Google was correct. When you look at the trajectory of career, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years? Like, what's your, I guess, main goal?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to play in Europe. I think, like, for me, playing in Spain would be like the dream. I have a lot of family in Spain because my mom's from Spain. So it'd be awesome to live in Spain, play there. So that would be my main goal. But then again, like, I'm a pretty calm guy. I don't get like stressed out. So, wherever life takes me, I'll enjoy, and I'll be happy to be a part of it.
What's your team in La Liga?
So due to Messi, I've always been a Barca fan.
Gotcha.
My whole family is from Madrid. So every time I'm in Spain and there's a Clásico, it's me on one side and the whole family.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Were you rooting for Tati when he went to Spain?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And especially since he scored 4 goals against Real Madrid, I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, that was an overall win right there.
Yeah.
You got to see your teammate win and beat down your rival. So that's great.
I think the Yale question doesn't make sense anymore because you're still going to Yale. We didn't realize you were still in Yale. We're going to say, oh, you dropped out after 3 months. Must have been bad vibes. But turns out you're still there.
No, it's great vibes here. Great vibes. Guys, I'm still super close with the team. So I love it here.
So you never actually end up playing for the Yale team, right? Because I think COVID happened when you guys were supposed to play, right?
Yeah, my freshman year was the COVID year. So I was on campus for like 2 months, 3 months, and then I signed homegrown and school went online for a little bit. And then once it stopped, I've just been kind of going from school to practice to home and just vibing.
Wow, that's intense.
I hope the full ride scholarship still counted though. All right, so we want to play a little game with you because you're going to Yale and because you're smart and we're not. We wanted to know, are you smarter than a fifth grader? So this is our little game, and we're gonna see if you're smarter than a fifth grader. All right.
Yeah. So if you get any, there's a problem. We might have to call the Yale admin board.
Okay.
All right. So first question: which of these is not considered one of the 7 wonders of the world? The Colosseum in Rome, the Great Wall of China, Machu Picchu, Peru, or the bodega on your corner?
I mean, the bodega on my corner is nice. So I don't know. I think I'm still going to go with D, though.
Okay. D, correct. The bodega on your corner. But you got to give props. What's your go-to from the bodega?
Ooh, depends on the time of day, the weather. I get bored, so I have to switch it up. But Arnold Palmer never.
You're not one of those dudes asking for avocado in your sandwich in a bodega, do you?
No, I would never do that. I would never do that.
All right. Which one of these mythical creatures actually turned out to be real? Alice Magna while dribbling, unicorns, dragons, or giant squids?
I mean, considering I've seen A, and it is a scary sight. I'm gonna go with A because when he's dribbling, he's like always doing different skill moves, and you never know which direction he's gonna go. And even if you try and guess it, like he's so big and strong that like you're not gonna get the ball anyway. So.
Well, I like the answer. You are wrong. It's giant squid. It's okay.
Fact check this.
I think we could give it. I think half credit for A, honestly.
It's wrong. All right. Name the hardest natural solid material. A, cobalt. B, Cushing's very bald head. C, iron. Or D, diamonds.
I can't laugh at this one. I'll get in trouble. So I'm going to go.
We might have to edit this question out, to be honest.
D.
D, diamond. I like it. Is it correct? Correct. There we go. All right. Question 4. How long is an optimal soccer field in yards? Whatever Yankee Stadium and Citi Field is, 120 yards, 100 yards, or any number of yards as long as it's not in New Jersey.
I think it's B or D. Either one works for me. B or D.
B or D? Yes, you are correct. We gave A, B, and D because we like Yankee Stadium and Citi Field. So you are right there.
Are you hoping they bring those dimensions of Yankee Stadium to the new stadium?
No, I hope it's like a normal size field. I think Yankee Stadium's a huge home field advantage for us, but I think we also prefer like a bigger field suits our play style a little bit better.
That's a good point. And then we get bigger games too when it comes up.
All right, next, I think this is our final question. Which continent is least populated? A, Asia, B, Europe, C, Antarctica, or D, Red Bull Arena during Red Bull home games?
Damn, when we wrote these, we were
on fire. We were feeling feisty that night.
I mean, C and D are both going to be close because they're probably both under 100 population. So I'll go C though because I think it's the only continent.
I think we gave you that. Antarctica and Red. We really wanted the Red Bull to be your answer, but it's okay. It works out.
We'll take it. 4.5 out of. Wait, that was the last one.
That was the last one. That was the last one. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you, Jason. I know it's during your off season, so we really appreciate it, man.
And finals are probably coming up soon.
Yeah. Finals? Are you guys taking finals right now?
Yep, next week. So we have a week off right now, reading period. So there's no class, no finals. So it's straight vibes for now.
Nice. You know what? That gentleman C ain't looking too bad right now. So
exactly.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
There we go. Another interview wrap. That was nice.
We're getting good at this.
Let's not push it now.
We're getting good at getting people on the show. Will they ever come back? Probably not.
Yeah, this is probably the last one after Kevin O'Toole. Kevin O'Toole was like, these guys are idiots. And Jason was like, yeah, I confirm they are idiots.
But I think we should give him the credit. I don't know why we said that the only right answer was the giant squids. It was definitely the Talus Magno thing. Should have been one of the answers.
No. It was wrong.
Also, I'm not gonna lie. I remember doing the work on that. I don't think giant squids are real.
Dude, he's gonna fact check us. Somebody fact check us. Are giant squids? That actually seems the most logical.
But the squids are big, but they're not as giant as they were like identified in like books of history of like mythical creatures. Like I think they get big, but they don't get big.
All right, you look way too hard into this. People would have just been like, all right, yeah, giant squids. I legit believe it. And now you like
I'm just saying, theory. It's like, is he smarter than a fifth grader or is he not smarter than a fifth grader?
Well, if he got that one wrong. No, he did get that one wrong.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Out of 5 questions, what is that? 1 out of 5?
That's 80%.
Oh, yes.
But don't you have to get all of them right to then be smarter than fifth grade? You ain't smarter than fifth grade. It took you that long to figure out.
80% smarter than a fifth grader. I'm like 20% smarter than a fifth grader. So he's beating most of the population right now.
I think he got that right. He got put in a precarious situation with that Talus Magno option.
Are we trying to wrap this episode up? Because we've been talking about this way too long.
I don't want him to like leave and he goes, this year Messi yelled at me and I'm not smarter than a fifth grader. My man's is about to go into finals. Ain't sure if he's smarter than a fifth grader or not.
We're like messing up his
That's what I'm saying. You're messing up his vibe.
I'm sorry,
Jason. Man. You are smarter than a fifth grader, although this won't be edited until post your finals because we're lazy. You are.
All right, I'm done with this episode.
We recorded this pre-MLS Cup.
Yes.
So we don't know who won it, and we don't know who we've signed since this 2 weeks passed, but we're glad it worked out that way.
Yep.
Peace. Oh, and follow us. NYCFC.
Oh, yes, please. If you like the video, please comment. Actually like and comment.
Subscribe.
And just view it. Send it to a friend. Do it for us. Oh, don't do it for us.
Yeah,
do it for Jason.
Do it for Jason. Yeah.
More people want to see Jason. He's a handsome guy.
Andres' mom wants to know that Andres is famous.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, "Oh my God, look at him!
Look at that!
Qué bueno."
Forget dupe.
Okay.
All right.
Ciao.
Peace.
Peace.